There is about 30 to 40 million Zionist Christians in the United States. They support Israel more than AIPAC or the Israeli lobby. So they are the principal supporters, and they have heavy media exposure. They have so much money. Plus, the media for a long period of time has been supporting Israel. So for us as a small community to counter this heavy lobby and heavy number of people and media and things like that, it is not an easy job. We are working very hard.
The Palestinians living in the diaspora are aware of the value of their activism in making the suffering of their people in the occupied Palestinian territory visible to the whole world, and the American people in particular, to mobilize them to press their government to stop supporting the Israeli military occupation of Palestine. Such mission is not easy, as the Zionist lobby exacts the price from the very voices that call for justice for Palestine. To discuss that, I have with me Palestinian American leading member of U.S. Palestine Council, Engineer Maher Abdelqader from Washington. Welcome to the program, Mr. Maher.
Thank you.
Mr. Maher, when the Israeli occupation forces committed the massacre in the refugee camp of Jenin about 2 weeks ago, we saw the Palestinian American community and the supporters of justice for Palestine and everywhere marching down the streets of New York protesting that. How was that march perceived by the people of the city and the people who are interested in the Israeli-Palestinian issue?
It was a great march. Thanks for interviewing me. It was definitely a great march. Anytime we take to the streets and we chant long live Palestine, justice for Palestinians, stop the killing of Palestinians. Palestinians have human rights too. This is very powerful messages that we trying to get to American streets and American audience. American people don't know our story, believe it or not. They are, dominated by heavy media that's pro-Israel, AIPAC, and supporters of Israel in the United States. They are working 24/7 to justify whatever Israel does, and they are distorting the facts. So taking to the streets, talking to others, marching in various areas of the United States of America, makes people wonder why we're doing this when they see the Palestinian flag and the Palestinian kufiyya, and we, call Palestine by name. They come and talk to us and communicate with us, and they ask what's going on. So when we explain to them, they do understand, and they become sympathizers with Palestine. So we need to do more of that, and more of the demonstration, not just in New York and other cities. Coincidentally, there was another march same day in the city of Chicago. Okay, so that's more or less what it is. So we need to energize ourselves and do more work in other cities.
Yes, Mr. Maher, yeah, I agree with you that it should not be limited to one place without another. But my note here is that these demonstrations and the protests by the Palestinian American community and the activists who support justice for Palestine are seasonal. When Israel commits a big crime, a massacre like the one in Jenin, the one in Jericho just 2 days ago, the one it committed today in the refugee camp of Balata, killing 17-year-old boy Hamza al-Ashkar without any justification, without posing any danger to them, just killing for the purpose of killing. Then these demonstrations take place. Why you don't organize that to have well-structured program that always supports the Palestinians' rights and demanding the American government to press Israel to end its occupation, not only when there is a massacre?
That's a great question. and I'm going to just, give you a simple answer. The Palestinian movement in the United States, it is in its infancy. Infancy, it's like, مولود جديد. And the reason why I'm using the word infancy, because we as an immigrant, we came in here and we struggled to create, a good condition, a livelihood, or education, jobs, secure homes and things like that. Our community in the United States is a new immigrant community that starts pouring into the U.S. in the late 70s, early 80s. Us, almost 20 some years just to get established and start working. So we are making great accomplishment and achievement, but still we are in the infancy phase. We have so many groups with so many colors, so many ideas, so many opinions. Whatever exists in the Palestinian areas or in the Middle East, where we have right, left, middle, whatever, Fatah, Hamas. We do have these things in the United States, and they hinder our ambition and activities. So different people do different activities in different times. So we are not united, to be honest with you. So to answer your questions, yes, we do respond to massacres and major events, but we work on daily basis. For example, Ilhan Omar was ousted from the Foreign Committee of the Congress. So right now, Thursday, we have a major fundraiser for her. So to show that our community is behind her, supports her, and is funding her campaign because she was penalized because of her support for the Palestinian people. So we do these things in daily basis. We have another major event coming in Chicago, where we will have Rashida Tlaib, the congresswoman, meeting with our community, and plus we have other Congress person, plus House of Representatives. So we do have the activities ongoing, but what you see is that the response to major events. Yes, we need to be more united. Yes, we need to be more organized. Yes, we need to be more effective, and yes, we have to focus on our community in the United States. We need to do all of that, and hopefully one day we'll do it.
Maher, we talk with many activists in the United States about solidarity with Palestine and the voice against the Israeli occupation and its practices against the Palestinians, and they say that things are on the right track now, and the Palestinian voice is heard compared, for example, to 10 years ago. But still, the Zionist lobby is strong, and you gave an example, Ilhan Omar, who was dismissed from
Foreign Affairs
the Committee of Foreign Affairs in the Congress. Does this mean that the Palestinian voice and the supporters of the Palestinian cause are still weak, and when the Zionist lobby decides to punish them, let me say, it can do that?
Well, we have to face reality. Yes, the Palestinian community is in the neighborhood of 500,000 to 600,000. But, countering that, you have 8 million Jewish people in the United States, and they are not the core supporter of Israel. I'm being honest with you, but the core supporter people of Israel in the United States is the Zionist Christians. There is about, 30 to 40 million Zionist Christians in the United States. They support Israel more than AIPAC or the Israeli lobby. So they are the principal supporters, and they have heavy media exposure. They have so much money. Plus, the media for a long period of time has been supporting Israel. So for us as a small community to counter this heavy lobby and heavy number of people and media and things like that, it is not an easy job. We are working very, very, very hard, but we are making progress. And one of the progresses, for example, American media used to just, deny mentioning Palestinians. Now, when they talk about, look at the New York Times recently, when they talk about the Palestinians, they want to mention the Palestinians, but they don't want to fault the Israelis. So, for example, when they reference any events in there or going, events that's going on in Palestine, they say, look at this is having both sides. They don't, fault the Israelis. They said Israeli disputes these, characterization. When the media says, Israel killed and did this and this, they always come and say Israel disputes this characterization. They also try to tone it down by saying that, army denies this and things like that. So we are working hard. And I think the new generation, as a result of social media, 32 years and younger, if you ask them, they are pro-Palestinian. They understand our issue because they, cruise through the social media and they are influenced by current events. Not like the old age that they go to New York Times and, CNN and Fox News and things like that. Those people are heavily influenced by Israel, and you cannot, eat an old dog new tricks. So those people, they will be supportive of Israel till they die. So this is part of the dilemma.
Yes, Maher. My final question to you, because we are running out of time, really, Mr. Maher. Israeli crimes in terms of murdering Palestinians and expanding Israeli settlements, confiscating Palestinian land, the policy of every night detention of dozens of Palestinians is on rise. The American Secretary of State was here a week ago, but nothing was implemented on the ground to stop such policies by Israel. Do you think this administration by Biden is going to continue to turn a blind eye to the suffering of the Palestinians under Israeli occupation?
I think it will. I don't think this administration, headed by Biden, will do anything to change the status quo right now. The only thing they will try to do is try to diffuse any escalation by Israel and the Israeli settlers, but they will not stop it, and they will not make any move to reactivate the peace talks between the Palestinian and the Israelis. Biden is 80 years old almost, and he always brag about the fact that he is the Zionist number one, and he's pro-Israel. His vice president, Maher Harris, is married to a Zionist, Zionist really. So, she's not going to stand against her husband, who's a Zionist, and she's the, number two person in the U.S. administration. So I doubt that there will be any move. Our community leaders recently last week sat with Blinken and Hadi Amr and others, prior to their trip to Palestine and Israel and others like in Egypt and Jordan. And he assured them in front of them that, he will do his utmost to change a few things. But, when he goes there, he sees things differently. Like when he had a press conference with Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said very clearly, Prime Minister Netanyahu said very clearly, we did not discuss what's happening in the West Bank. All right, we discussed other issues such as Iran and Europe, so which means that, this Blinken, when he went down there to talk about what's happening in the West Bank and the aggression and the violence by the settlers and, the killing of the Palestinians and, the brutal treatment of the occupation forces of Israel, everybody expects that he's going to talk about that, and he is going to talk, and I'm sure the Palestinian, that they're going to be moving to the next level of discussion where they can solve problems. But he didn't do that. So he talked to us in one way, and when he meets the Israelis, he talks a different way, and when he meets to the media, he just blurb, we are for the, two-state solution, we are for peace, de-escalation, and things like that. I mean, it's a lip service, and the American administration, the current American administration, is not planning to do anything towards the Palestinian cause.
So, Mr. Maher, A lot of words, but no actions by the American administration.
Correct.
Maher Abdelqader,
Correct.
leading member of the U.S. Palestine Council. It has been a great pleasure having you on our program. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And from me, Osama Nazal, have a nice time.